My name's Kevin McCarthy. I was raised in Cambridge and provided a pretty good life. And I had some things that didn't quite work out the way I wanted them to. Lost a lot, ended up homeless, and now my life has turned around and I've been able to come back and establish a good life for myself.
You know, here I was an African-American kid going to public school in Cambridge, and somebody said to me, "I think you deserve a chance." And I said, "Okay, I'll take it."
It was the 1980s, and it was sex and drugs and rock and roll, and I guess there was too much drugs. The fact that I was so focused on the party rolling on and not learning how to maintain this wealth that I had developed. I had a mind that I couldn't trust. My mind was telling me that everything was okay, and it wasn't. I can remember walking around with a briefcase with a suit on, homeless, knowing that that night I was going to be sleeping on a bench on the Charles River. And all I was carrying in a briefcase was my lost dreams and my drugs and my alcohol. This is the bench that I slept on more than one occasion. If it was really cold, I'd go into the MIT basement, or I'd just, I'd get up here and I'd begin my day walking across the Mass Avenue Bridge and waiting for either the liquor store or the bar to open. I can remember sitting here with a suit on and an overcoat and a briefcase and thinking that, yeah, this is normal. The delusions, the way the mind can fool you, is pretty amazing when you're in the throes of addiction. That's when I realized it wasn't about the drugs, it wasn't about the alcohol. I had that stuff. It was the fact that I didn't have anything else. And that realization was the lowest point, because I had nothing. I was empty. I was a shell of my former self. And I got to that point where I realized I was about to lose my life. I was about to lose my life at my own hand. "27 years ago, I walked into Cambridge City Hospital to finally get some help. This was the next stop in my journey. I might have had 30, 90 days. I spent 6 months in this house. 6 months of trying to figure out who I was and where I was going. Asking for help was the hardest thing I ever did. And I didn't know I needed it. That's why it was so hard. And so when I began to ask for help, it was always there. Every time I asked for help, somebody was there to provide me the assistance. As long as I wanted to do the work, they were there to help me, they were there to guide me, they were there to show me what I needed to do next. So when Emmett came along and said, "I've got this organization that I do work with, and they help the homeless," what was I supposed to say? I said yes. There were a couple of key moments where my life turned around. Of course, there was the one that began my divine intervention and brought me on the road to recovery. But then there was the second defining moment, and that's the one where I was invited to join Heading Home. I said yes, and I had no idea that a guy that was selling Volvos and Jaguars and Wellesley and Living Good was going to give the economic success up after meeting some people who were doing so much good in the community.
There are so many people that are 3 paychecks away or one bad decision away from being homeless, that all they need is a foundation to stand on, and they will do the rest. And that's what Heading Home provides. If you give people a solid foundation to stand on, they'll build the rest of their house. You know, I've said over and over again, this is an old adage, right? Give a man a fish, feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish, and you'll feed him for a lifetime. Heading Home teaches homeless people how to live, how to support themselves going forward, how to create their own economic self-sufficiency. And I'll tell you something, what's really important is if you teach that to one generation, they teach it to the next, who teaches it to the next. When I hear that somebody in Heading Home has gone out and bought a house, that's the goal. Now they are homeowners. Now they are part of the solution. Now they are truly a part of the community.
This is my 27-year anniversary of my sobrieties today. And it's only fitting that I'm sitting here in the same spot where my addiction took my house. God's got a plan. I still believe in the chapter in my life, there's nothing that I can't do. Today, I just don't do it for me, I do it for others. When I think about my grandfather and the fact that he used to tell me, Kevin, you're one of the few and not one of the many, I finally get it. I've been blessed, I've been given a gift. That gift is helping others.